So please take a comfortable seat as you know it to be for yourself. And we will start with a shared silent time together. You're welcome to rest your hands in your lap if you like, or sometimes it's nice to put the hands on the heart, or one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. Please welcome yourself to arrive from wherever you've been in your mind or your body or your life. As you find yourself arriving, now lengthen up through your spine. So you're like setting the antenna of your attention. Also root down into your hips and your pelvis. You have a sense of being grounded in the present moment. And gently deepen your breathing so that the breath goes down a little bit lower in your body, making contact with the pelvic floor for both inhale and exhale. Encourage your breath to also be a little bit more spacious. So first deeper and then a little bit more spacious, a little bit wider. And welcome the breath as well to rise upwards. So the inhale you can sense at the base of the pelvis moving upwards, wider, and then lifting your heart and your collarbones. It does not need to be the most vigorous breath that you've taken. Just an invitation for the breath to be welcomed in all three regions of the torso, lower, middle, and upper. And start noticing when your breath comes to the top of the inhale, what is the quality of your inhale pause? What is the tone of your exhale from the beginning through the middle to the end of the exhale? What is the feeling tone of your exhale pause? And then please bring your hands together at your heart. Come to Anjali Mudra. And this morning we can chant together Sahana Vavatu. Let's begin. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and release your hands. And while you're sitting, we're going to go directly to Pranayama. I'm just pushing back away from the desk and the computer so I won't knock into it. I'd like you to have some space ahead of you to come into a partly seated forward bend in this pranayama. So just check also that you have the space to the side and to the side for yourself. Okay, we're going to review and then I'm going to add a tool for you this morning. So sitting up straight and tall, bring your attention to the solar plexus. And first we will do Bhastrika. At the end of Bhastrika, it comes up to an inhale with the inhale suspension. And that inhale suspension I was reviewing on Friday and Saturday. You are lifting the collarbones, but the lift at the base of the skull supports that lift for your collarbones too. So inhale suspension is a felt sense of the chest being brighter, more expanded, and the low belly being more toned so that there is this inward upward action. So starting at the solar plexus with Bhastrika. Let's begin. Exhale. Now inhale through the nose, lower belly, mid belly, upper chest and heart, up to suspension. And then exhale, release slowly and completely. Pause here for a moment. Now bring the base of the skull up. Gently tip your head down towards Jalandhar Bandha. So this is going to be the Ujjayi inhale where we're going up. And we're timing the lift of that up so that at the top of the inhale, you're going to have raised your head. And then on the exhale, you're returning the physical body to Jalandhar Bandha. The exhale is still going from the base upwards and outwards through the nose. So the exhale and the gaze will pass each other in the process. I'll talk you through the first one here. So beginning with your downward inward gaze, bring the Ujjayi breath in. So you're going to begin at the pelvic floor, low belly. Your breath can come up through the mid-torso, up to the heart, and towards the top of the inhale, lift your head and your chin. And then as you exhale, start returning your posture to where you started, while your exhale is going from the low belly, mid belly, up and out through the nose. Repeat that 4 times, please. Remember that you're timing the length of the breath based on your breathability and your capacity. And your physical movements are corresponding to the length of the breath. Once more, please. And then pause to relax. Noticing the echo, how pranayama influences your mind and your body. Now please clasp your hands and take the heels of the hands straight down. We did this yesterday, so this is review for some of you and new for others. Again, bringing your gaze down. So Ujjayi inhale to raise your arms and your heart and your head at the pace of your inhalation. So you're arriving at the top of your movements at the top of your inhale. And then exhale, turn your palms face down, bring them behind your head so your pinkies are at the base of your skull. Wrap your elbows forward as you inhale, gaze up and use the pinkies to help lift the base of your skull. Let's exhale and go down to Jalandhar Bandha. Lift the base of your skull into the pinky fingers, inward and upward. Now level your head and inhale, your left elbow forward, right elbow up, twisting to your right. Exhale to level off. Inhale, right elbow forward, left elbow up, twist to your left. Exhale to center. Once more, inhale to your right. Bring the left elbow forward to do that. And then exhale, place the left hand on the floor, side bend to your left, keeping your right pinky at the base of your skull. And inhale, come back up. Exhale to center. Inhale, glide your right elbow forward, left elbow up, twist to your left. And exhale, take your right hand to the floor, side bend to your right. And then inhale, back up to center, clasping your hands into your twist. And then exhale, level that off. And now inhale to go up, please. And exhale, arms wide and down. So we're going to repeat that one more time using the Ujjayi breath. When your fingers are at the base of your skull, that is an indicator for supporting your Jalandhara Bandha. You have a little place to put pressure in to the sides of the pinkies. So right in through here, the sides of the pinkies. Okay, let's begin. Exhale, hands down behind your head, Jalandhara Bandha. Inhale, elbows forward and up. Exhale, gazing down, Jalandhara Bandha. Inhale, leveling off, and then left elbow forward, twist to your right. Exhale to center. Inhale, right elbow forward, twist left. Raise your left elbow. Exhale to center. Again to the right. Exhale, release your left hand, side bend to your left. Inhale, back up to your twist. Exhale to center. Inhale, twist left. Bring your right elbow forward, raise your left elbow. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, back up to center with your twist. Exhale, return to center, elbows wide, Jalandhara Bandha. Inhale to go up. Exhale, arms wide. And place your hands out over your knees. And pause to notice what is happening in the echo from that practice. And please walk your hands forward. So if you're sitting cross-legged, you can stay cross-legged. If you're kneeling, walk forward into your comfort zone. And as you bow forward, walk your hands out to be shoulder width apart. Now let's do a deep breath into the back hemisphere of the body. So imagine the Ujjayi inhale is going up the back of your body, and even into the back of your heart. And then exhale and blow out like a teeny tiny straw, a silent exhale out through pursed lips. Tone the inner belly, so your exhale is coming up the front line of your spine. And then inhale again, beginning at the base of your spine, coming up the back hemisphere of your body. And use the exhale through the pursed lips, so you're lengthening the exhale purposely. And as we're bowed forward, notice the tone of the lower belly, especially as you get towards the end of the exhalation. Release that tone thoughtfully as you inhale. One more time. When you complete the next exhale, then walk your hands back towards your knees, rise up to sitting. And then appreciate yourself for making these efforts. You can put the hands to the heart. And we're going to transition now to table pose. And I would like you to have, probably you're going to want a blanket for your knees. And it's helpful to have 2 blocks, please, for your hands. Also, if you happen to have a tennis ball, we may use that today. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so I have a double yoga mat, so I won't put a blanket for my knees right now. But you're welcome to do that for yourself. And then the 2 blocks can be nearby. Come to table pose, hands on the floor, shoulder width apart, please. So on Friday, and I think on Saturday, we did some variations here. We're gonna look into variations again right now. So as you inhale, please press your spine into cat pose. And then exhale to cow pose, so that's familiar to you. So inhale to cat pose. I know for some of you that might seem backwards. Why aren't we using the exhale for cat pose? But both are legitimate. Transition to cow pose. Notice on the exhale in cow pose, when you're bringing the heart forward, you have to tone the low belly in spinal extension. And then when you inhale to cat pose, you want to expand the back hemisphere of the body using the in-breath. Okay, once more, cow pose, please. And then come to table pose and step your left foot out to the side so that you're going to point the toes of your left foot forward. So that looks like this. The left leg goes out, toes pointing forward. Please keep your right thigh vertical. And inhale to cat pose. And exhale to cow pose. So glide your sitting bones back, pubic bone back, bring the spine forward. You might notice your left thigh. And then inhale again to cat pose. And exhale to cow pose. Glide your sitting bones back. Move through the full length of your spine and do your best to pace your exhale and your movements to be synchronized. One more time, please. Listen for the way that you synchronize. You can think of that also like harmonizing between your body, your breath, and your mind. And keeping the left leg out. Let's come to table pose again. And now place a block near for your right hand. Come down to your left forearm. Place your right hand on the block. And keeping the left leg steady, please press into your right hand for a gentle twist of your upper back to your right. Now the twist is going to be a little bit limited because we have your left leg out to the side. Maybe we could say the twist is more targeted. So you can't compensate as easily with your pelvis, your sacrum, or your lower back. So use the strength that you have here. Your right hand can press down. The left forearm presses down. Press into your left heel and toes. And then listen for the smoothness of the breath kind of coming through this version of the flute of your spine. One more time, breathing in. And then press down through your right hand, return your left and your right hand to table pose, and step your left knee in and your right leg out to the side. Point the toes of your right foot to go forward. And once more, we're going to inhale to cat pose. So you broaden the back hemisphere of your body with the inhalation. And exhale to cow pose. Try to watch the undulation of the spine as if, in fact, you were listening to music moving through the flute of the spine, and you're watching the fingers of the musician along the spine. And you want this music, I would guess, you want it to feel beautiful or loving or soothing. So inhale to cat pose once more. And exhale to cow pose once more. Notice the tone of the belly at the end of that exhale. And then bring your right forearm down. Place a block for your left hand. And add a little twist of your upper body to your left. And as you listen in to the music of your body, like the breath is passing through the flute of the spine, ask in any way that your head or neck would like to explore. So you're sensing within your own body, what are the indicators? Where's the intuition? What is your body asking for? Let's breathe in one more time. You might be noticing your right upper inner thigh too, of course. But as you exhale now, press into your left palm, return your right hand to table pose, left hand to table pose, step your right foot in, and place the two blocks under your hands, please. Okay, turn your index fingers to point out on the blocks and the thumbs on the inside. And let's come into cow pose. So this should feel like a back bend actually in the upper back, chest, and heart. So exhale, stretch the chin forward. And then inhale, come into cat pose, please. Exhale, keep your cat pose spine and just go about halfway back to child's pose. So it feels like a hot air balloon at the back of the body. And then inhale, roll that hot air balloon forward, cat pose. Exhale, cow pose. And then inhale to cat pose again. Let's breathe in through the nose, Ujjayi. Exhale, halfway back to child's pose, keeping the parachute of the back body really open or the hot air balloon really full. Inhale to cat. And now we're going to use that tiny straw exhale to come through cow pose. And then inhale to cat pose. Exhale, part way back to child's pose. Inhale, roll forward to cat. A tiny straw exhale, cow pose. Inhale to table pose, please. And exhale, plank pose. In plank pose, inhale, step your left toes out to the side. Exhale, glide your left foot back, plank pose. Inhale, right toes out. Exhale, plank pose. Again, please notice how the music of the flute of your body has changed. Exhale, plank. And inhale, right toes out. And exhale, plank pose. And then inhale, downward facing dog pose. You can keep your hands on your blocks, which means that your dog pose is probably a tiny bit shorter than when you're on your yoga mat. And then exhale, step one foot and then the other foot forward to Uttanasana. Place your feet so they're hip distance apart. Invite the torso to be really relaxed, but your legs can maintain the energy and grounding that your body needs. And listening for the music through the flute of your own body. Let's inhale, sweep the arms wide, rise up to upward hands pose. And then exhale, hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. So there's a word that we've been using in our Dharma discussions, which we're making for the community and for the prison. Yesterday we talked about Mitahara. Mitahara means to have a moderate relationship to resources, including food and beverages. Let's extrapolate food, beverages, news, stimulation, and a moderate use of resources that we all share and are dependent upon. So in the physical body, in your practice, that moderation means neither pushing too hard nor being too timid, but keeping it balanced, like the middle way. Okay, so here with Ujjayi, not your most ferocious Ujjayi, not the most lackadaisical either. This is for Surya Namaskar. So even when you energize your muscles, think of it like it's on a dimmer switch. How much energy or tone do the muscles actually need right now? And make it suited to each of the poses. So there's going to be some variation. Yeah. Okay, inhale, Ujjayi breath. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, press into your footprints, energize your leg muscles, root your tailbone, lift your heart. Exhale, Uttanasana. So legs are toned, yeah, but the torso doesn't need to be rigid or ferocious. So inhale, glide forward through the flute of the spine. And this morning, let's also gaze forward. And then exhale, take your left toes straight back. This is the base of your lunge pose. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Here we're going to stay for a little while. So that gives you a chance to review some of the teachings from last week and to ask for the moderate, appropriate amount of energy from each of these places in the body. So let's go from the right big toe, pinky toe, the mound of the big toe, your right inner heel and outer heel. And when you activate the outer right heel, see if you can locate the muscles we talked about last week at the right outer hip, like a little side pocket right here. Can you tone that spot so that the distribution of effort in your right leg is actually supported by this little superpower at your right outer hip here? Yeah, good. Then press into your left big toe, left inner heel, left pinky. I know your heel's not touching the floor likely, but energize it. And as you tone your upper inner left thigh, then lift through the inner seam of your body like music moving through a flute. At any one time in the orchestra, which I used to play in. The instruments have different parts and different levels of volume. And like this in the orchestra of your body. Let's do one more inhale. And when you exhale, bow forward to airplane pose. And don't forget the little superpower of your right outer hip. And then lightly touch the two blocks. And please inhale, float your left foot forward, heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale to Uttanasana itself. And check the balance of things in terms of how your muscles are collaborating with each other. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. And then step your right foot straight back to the base of your lunge pose. And inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. So keeping the Ujjayi breath smooth, like it's consistently helping you to sense your intuition and your body intelligence. So rather than thinking too hard, when I say left big toe, send your intuition to meet the intelligence that's there. And then left pinky toe, so you send your intuition down to meet the intelligence that's there. Left inner arch, inner heel, outer heel. And then contacting the left outer hip between your trochanter, the outer thigh bone, and your sitting bone. And transfer your attention to your right big toe, right inner heel, pinky and outer heel. And then draw up through the inner right belly and let your music find its own way. And allow your intuition and the intelligence already in your body to have a little dance together, like music, moving through the flute of the spine. Without forgetting the superpower of your left outer hip. That is a new place for some of you to be discovering. That's why I'm repeating that one. When your next exhale comes, glide forward over your left leg into your airplane pose. The left outer hip is going to have an increased sense of responsibility there. Please touch the two blocks firmly and step backwards to plank pose. And then inhale, downward facing dog pose. Breathing in. Exhale completely. Notice the tone of the deep low belly. And then step one foot, let's say your awkward foot forward first, and then the other foot forward and return to Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Listen for the moderation of effort, the balance between the intelligence already within your body. Some of those are very small muscles, like the deep six at the outer hips, the pelvic floor. These are shorter muscles, smaller muscles, not meant to be overridden by the larger, more global muscles. Now we're going to do a little variation in the practice. So inhale, Urdhva Hastasana coming up. And when you exhale to sit down to chair pose, if you tone the outer hip muscles, those superpower spots right there behind the trochanter and the sitting bone, your chair pose is going to have more stamina and grace. Whereas if you just go lax into those muscles, the moderation or collaboration between different parts of the body is off kilter. So breathing in. Now exhale, press down into your right leg and lift your left as you come up. And then inhale, glide backwards to airplane pose. On the inhale, as if you have air underneath your wings. And then exhale, rise up. So root down, use the superpower of the right outer hip and foot. And inhale, airplane pose. There's air underneath the wings. Exhale, rise up, knee to chest. And stepping down, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Second side. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, bend your knees and don't go forgetfully down into the outer hips, but rather remind yourself you have these like hidden places of strength or power right there. Breathe in, please. Exhale, root down, rise up onto your left leg, bring your right knee up to your chest. Now inhale, backwards to airplane pose. And then you're going to exhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Inhale, airplane pose. And exhale, rise up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, let's add Anjaneyasana now. So breathing in. Exhale, chair pose. Sit down into the outer hip muscles. Again, listen for the orchestra, the collaboration. Breathe in. Now exhale, rise up, root into your right leg, bring your left knee up. Inhale, airplane pose. Exhale, crescent lunge. I know that feels weird. It's okay. Inhale, airplane pose, hover over your right thigh. And then lightly touch the blocks and bring your left knee down to the base of Anjaneyasana. And here we inhale to go up. So we're going to pause here and let the breath of the body simmer. So as I say the body part, let your intuition go to meet the intelligence that is already there. And so right big toe, pinky toe, right inner arch and inner heel, your right outer heel, and connect the intelligence there to the intelligence in your right outer hip, right behind the thigh bone, the greater trochanter. And with that support, let the pose move like music through the flute of your body. Do not forget about your little hidden superpower, the deep six muscles. I mean, I'm just highlighting them today because of our learning last week. But let's exhale to come over. Now touching the blocks with your fingertips, please inhale and straighten both legs. Keeping the back heel lifted is okay here. Exhale and bow over your right thigh. Now ask yourself, how active do the muscles of the right leg need to be in order to collaborate with each other? So all 5 toes, your inner arch and outer arch, your right heel, your calf and your thigh, front and back, inner and outer, and the outer hip. root down into both hands and arms. Let's go ahead and straighten your arms and come up to your fingertips. Now, without sashaying your hips off to the right, I'd like you to keep this whole communication from your right foot up into your right hip. Keep that communication steady as you pivot your pelvis to your left. Turn your left heel down to the floor and rise up to Trikonasana. So if you maintain the right leg there, that part of the orchestra is still carrying the sound that's it's to carry. Now let's add to that. So if you come up into the right outer hip and tone your little superpower there, root your tailbone and your left sitting bone towards your left heel. Then bring your intuition into your left thigh, left knee, left calf, left foot, to meet the intelligence that is already there. And with a sense of gliding through the music, please sweep your left arm forward past your left ear on your way back down to the 2 blocks. Bend your right knee and step forward. Uttanasana. With your Ujjayi breath, please inhale to rise up, upward hands pose. And exhale, return to your heart. And ask yourself for some honest reflection. How are you practicing Mitahara, the moderate, collaborative effort between your body, the poses, your mind, your intuition? We don't want any part of the pose to be over-efforting and then some other part to become lackadaisical or timid. Nor do we want to use every bit of energy we have in one part of one pose and be tired somewhere else. Okay, let's go again. So inhale, Ujjayi. Sweep your arms out to the side, palms face up. And exhale, as you sit down, remind yourself of those outer hip muscles. They are connecting you into your outer heels and toes and arches as well. Now on your exhale, press into your left leg, rise up with your right knee. Inhale to airplane pose. So arms wide, glide your right toes back. And then exhale into your crescent lunge when the exhale breath comes. And inhale to your airplane pose again. And keep it light so you're hovering. Okay, let's exhale. Touch the blocks lightly with your fingers and lower your right knee down for the base of Anjaneyasana. Let's inhale to go up. Yes, beautiful. So again, I'm just going to name these parts. We've been practicing together for a long time now, and so consistently with the Zoom. So let your intuition go to the place where the intelligence is already in your body. So left big toe, pinky toe, inner arch, inner and outer heels. Connect to the left outer hip and let that support you in going up to the music of the spine. You can imagine an orchestra balancing its sound, the instruments respecting each other and the music. In your body's timing, you're going to bring your hands back to those 2 blocks and we'll do fingertips. And then when your body's ready for it, straighten both legs. And exhale to bow over your left leg. So Mitahara is asking, like, how much resource do I actually need? And we're talking there about in daily life, the amount of food and water and objects, resources. How much fuel do I need to support my yoga practice? So in the physical body, how much effort is needed for your mind to stay in the orchestra of your body's intelligence? If we over effort, we do tend to dissipate or displace things. So let's rise up now to the fingertips, please. And keeping your left leg in this intuitive intelligence, pelvis is going to go to your right. So start rotating your pelvis to your right and bring your right outer heel down to the floor behind you. Root down into your left fingers and find your way to Trikonasana, the triangle pose. And asking again how much energy you need to consume, commit, invest. How much energy is needed for this pose to support your mind to be in your yoga, not in your distractions, nor your daydreams. So check in with your left quadriceps, for example. If they overpower your hamstrings, you can end up hyperextending your knee. But if the quadriceps become lazy, you end up with a little jiggly kneecap. Check in with the tone of your upper inner left thigh and your outer right hip. And then following your exhale breath in the way that you would like to, bring your right fingers back down to the block. And this time let's do 2 firm hands, and please step backwards to plank pose. And then lightly touch your knees down and reach back to child's pose. Bring 1 block with you. Turn your palms face up. And please walk your hands back towards your knees and take 1 block, like a little bench, like a zazen, and sit on it in Virasana, also called Vajrasana, depending on how you're doing it. Right now we're sitting on a little bench, so we'll just call it zazen. So Mitahara also means how much electricity, how much fuel, how much do I consume from my environment or my world? What is needed for my yoga practice? Or what is needed for awakening or sincerity or compassion? Okay, so now if you have a tennis ball, that would be helpful. If you don't have a tennis ball, I will show you an option that you can do. It's a little, I like them both. One is a little bit harder to teach on Zoom than the other. So first I'll show you with the tennis ball. Get that cord out of the way. So the tennis ball is going to go under your upper back between your spine and your shoulder blade. So when I lie on my back here, let's see, I'll talk about my left side. So I would take the tennis ball and place it under between my left shoulder blade and my the side of my spine. Okay, so if I was on the front of the chest, the tennis ball is right down behind here. So it's not lower than the shoulder blade and it's not up on the upper part of the neck just yet. And then what you do is you raise your arm and you basically move the arm about to feel into it, and you go slow, right? Some of you are going to have very strong sensations there. It will depend on how firm your tennis ball is, how firm the floor that you're practicing on is, how tight the upper back is, and so on. So what I'm going to recommend is that you're feeling about and moving through. And you're welcome to improvise. So the ball is between the bone of the scapula, it's not on the bone, and the bones of the spine. It's in that spot in between. Okay, so for those of you who have a tennis ball, that is your invitation. For those of you who don't, you're going to use a block that goes like this. You actually need 2 blocks. So what you do is you lie backwards on this first block so that the 2 upper corners of the blocks are between the shoulder blades of the spine. And then you put the other block, like this on the medium setting, under your hips. So your hips and your upper back are at the same height. And you would then hold your head because it might not reach the floor. And what you have here is those 2 blocks, they're kind of pokey. So you can go back to some of the work we did with the arms in Pranayama. You get to move the sensations from one side of the upper back across to the other. So where you are on your tennis ball, on your upper back matters, and also where you are on the 2 corners of the blocks does matter. So if you are on the blocks and you put your head back and you feel like you're falling off the blocks, then you'd want to scoot towards your hips. Right, so you're on more of the muscle part, not on the bones. If you're using a tennis ball, I would like you to change to the other side now. And if you're on the 2 blocks, you can keep exploring since you're going kind of side to side in the process. When you're on the tennis ball, I was saying, oh, you can move the arm about, which is also lovely. I should have said you can also turn your head. So if you've got the tennis ball under your right upper back and you're moving the right arm, you might turn your head to your left in contrast to that. We'll just do 1 more minute here. Now let me say, if your body has pain in any of these places, that is your body intelligence informing you, not betraying you. It's telling you. Maybe it's telling you that you're dehydrated, or it's telling you that your posture hasn't been so good, or that you've been stressed, or something. It's giving you information, in other words. So if you've been on 2 blocks, please put the block under the back of your pelvis to the side. So rest that one to the side. And place your palms on the floor where that block was, so that you're going to lower your hips down to sit on the back of your hands. And then you stretch one leg out, second leg out, and you rise up to sitting. If you've been on the tennis ball, go ahead and release your tennis ball. And then You can all come up to sitting. You have some playtime there. Okay. I hope that's feeling all right. There's a lot going on in the upper back. Okay, I'd like you to have 2 blankets now. And we're going to fold them lengthwise the way that we've done before. So you take the blanket from the storage fold and fold it in half twice, length to length, like that. Do that for both of your blankets, please. Okay. Okay, now you have these 2 blankets. Everybody, to the best of your ability, has this kind of blanket fold like this. My blankets are thick, so this is a little bit thicker here from the floor up to this edge, and I want these 2 to be stacked. So this is called the frayed edge down here, and this is called the stacked edge. Okay, so what we're going to do, I will put my head facing towards you so you can kind of get a sense of it. We're going to start with the base of the skull right here at this edge of the blanket. And this is to help coming back to the occipital ridge and this work that we need to do to make Jalandhara Bandha more possible, but also the work we want to do to not carry neck and shoulder tension unnecessarily, where mental tension just keeps repeating itself inside. So you're going to sit on the blankets. And when you lie backwards, aim to have it be such that when you lie down, you have, so I overshot that. So like the base of my skull is too far past the edge of my blankets. So I have to start again. I scoop down. And this time I undershot it, which is better because you can make a little inchworm to go back. And I want you just to place like this, the very base of your skull on the edge of the blankets. And let your head, the weight of your head, begin to tip backwards. It's not that you're overextending your neck here. It's that you're massaging the occipital ridge. So you want the blanket to be right there at the base of the skull. And take the arms out to the side. Close your eyes. Let there be just a little bit of pressure where your skull meets the blanket. Notice what is happening with the circulation moving towards your face, your head. We all have these places in the body where we tend to carry some tension, and a very common place that we don't know about is right there at the base of the skull. Sometimes it contributes to the headache patterns that we struggle with. Slowly turn your nose to the right, increasing the pressure on the right occipital ridge. And slowly rotate your nose and your head back to center. As you turn your nose now to the left, press into the left occipital ridge on the blanket. Turn only into your range of motion, going left. And then roll back to center. Invite your mind to deeply relax. Roll your head one more time to your right. Roll to center. On your way to your left. You can use some of the strength of your neck rotation to rotate to your left, but within your range of motion for flexibility. Now we're going to roll back to center. Reach up, please, to hold the back of your head with your hands. Look a little bit forward and scooch like a backwards inchworm. Scooch down your blanket until you are now having the edge of the blanket is going to be at the very upper corners of your shoulder blades. And take the arms out into a T shape or into cactus pose. So the blankets here are at the top of the shoulder blades, really in line with the top of the shoulders and the base of your neck. And with your arms in cactus pose, I'd like you to use your fingers to lift and then rotate your head to the right. Now, the effort you're making to keep your nose turned to the right is the effort to stretch the left side of the neck. You may also feel like you're toning certain muscles on the right side of your neck. You can ask how much effort is needed, Mitahara. If you place your intuition and your consideration in the muscles that are opening, toning, stretching, connect into the intelligence that's already in those places in your body. And please roll your head to center. And then using your fingers, lift your head and turn it to your left. Make just the right amount of effort to tip your nose to your left, which is an effort to stretch the right side of your neck. And then roll your head back to center. Now reach up and hold your head one more time. And scoot backwards until the blankets are now between the two corners of your shoulder blades where the block or the tennis balls were earlier. And once more, come into cactus pose. Now you'll notice that your body is doing Jalandhara Bandha with the upper chest, heart, collarbones, chin, and head. Your gaze can be closed, but also downward towards your heart. And one thing just to check is that you don't have to push your floating ribs up. You can actually keep a gentle tone across the upper abdomen right there. And now taking awareness of the present moment where you are, we're going to release from this position and let the quiet that I hope this generates. We want this to take us into Shavasana. So a couple ways to do that. One is to roll down sideways, but another one is to keep slithering backwards off of your blankets until you have the blankets under your sacrum. And then you can pick up your hips, slide the blankets aside, and turn them to go under your knees for your Shavasana. Okay, so you have a couple of options there, but I'm going to ask us to now come to Shavasana and look for the quiet that is possible from the work that we were just doing. I should say the inquiry, the exploration. So yeah, when you're resting down, let your body intelligence really come in right now and just take care of you. It wouldn't surprise me if you had a feeling that you're about to doze off and then come to. We were resetting things in your body there. So allow yourself to be at ease. Release the stress or the tears or the mental Ferris wheel of the last weeks, years, decades, whatever it's been for you. Allow yourself to rest, to be replenished. That's the other thing about Mitahara is it's related to moderation with food, how much to eat in one sitting, and how frequently or infrequently to eat during the day. So there's rest between digestion. And so here we rest between digesting all of the news of life. Right now you're going to rest. Let it be very nourishing. Allow the resting to be deeply penetrating. So not only your body, not only the nervous system or the organs, but also for your mind and as well for your heart. Allow the inner quiet to go a few degrees more deeply over the next minute or two. So you're receiving the way the earth soaks in the rain. And with awareness that your practice is a multi-layered experience, don't move the mind, but allow awareness to return. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And in your own timing, you're going to bend your knees and make your way to your side. And then make your way back up to your seat. And return to the seat that you began in. See what your meditation may feel like as you sit back upright. You may have a kind of natural inclination for a hint at the Jalandhara Bandha to support you in your meditation. Just bring your hands together at your heart. When we ask the question of Mitahara, how much resource do we need to support ourselves for meditation, for yoga, for this path and this practice? Quite likely we need less resource, more simple resource, wisely used. But if we ask how much resource will it take for me to quote unquote get ahead in life or in the marketplace or in the merchant culture, it's a very different experience. Blessings on your practice, everyone. Namaste. I will come forward so I can see you more closely with these also. Angle there. Okay. I will also change my camera so you can see me better too. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Christine, how is your neck feeling now? Oh, thanks, William. Thank you. I know I saw Christine earlier today. She'd had some trouble with her neck.
So much better, thank you.
You're welcome.